Welcome to Colonie TV, the governmental educational channel for the town of Colonie.
Hi, I'm Supervisor Paula Mahan, and welcome to Colonie Connect. Today, my special guest is Joe LaCivita, our Planning and Economic Development Director. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you.
And we certainly have a lot of things going on in town regarding our planning department. So much redevelopment of old properties that were sitting there for such a long time, and some other new additions to town as well that we think our residents will enjoy. So one of the newest things that we've made available, and certainly it's open this spring and summer, is our new park on River Road.
Yes.
The Mohawk Riverside Landing Park, which is right next to the bike path, which is along the Mohawk River, and that fits perfectly into our comprehensive plan.
Yes, it does.
Maybe you want to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. You know, the exciting thing is each time we do this show, we always have more things to tell,
Yes.
you know, the residents in the town. Our comprehensive plan is coming alive each year. We do this each time we do it. More projects are coming online, like the park. We listen to the people. When we brought it to the public hearing, they wanted a passive park, and we were able to bring that park to fruition last October, I think it was, when we finally dedicated the park.
Yes.
It's got parking, it's got bathrooms, it's got connectivity to the bike path, and we're going to continue to work through it to get other lines of connectivity back to the park as well, or to the...
Yes, and I think it's great that we were able to take an existing piece of property that was basically dormant, with a building that was basically falling apart, and we were able to accomplish the whole goal of creating a passive park there with the help of the community and Mike Hoffman, who is the owner of several hotels in the area, as well as our scouts. We had scouts helping us, and we had our own town workforce do the majority of the work. So all in all, with everybody bringing their talents together, it was very minimal to the town, probably in the hundreds of dollars, not very much at all. And the whole area has been redesigned and redeveloped for passive use, and it came out beautiful.
Oh, it was a transformation of that parcel that was there long since abandoned, and I think that's the exciting part of my job is you get to collaborate with business, you get to collaborate with the nonprofit entities in town, and our township itself, you know, the people, the residents, and even the people who work for the town. I mean, there's a bunch of caring people that are in the various departments throughout, and when we presented them with the opportunity, boy, they just jumped right on board and became part of that project and really took it on their own.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great to ride by there now and see it just so, you know, so clean and peaceful, and just another place for people to go and spend some time. We also have we have a couple. Well, we have our new dog park that's opened up, and probably late summer, early fall, we'll be working on our second dog park, which will be at the golf course site.
Yes.
There's an older tennis court there, and we have some land there, and we have parking there, and we have water there, so we have everything we need to do our second dog park.
Yeah.
So.
And Michael Hoffman was also inspirational up at the golf course as well.
Yes.
Not only did he provide bathrooms at the park, you know, the Mohawk River Park, but also at the golf course he did two bathrooms there as well.
Yes, and I'm hearing that they're very much appreciated by the golfers, so that worked out well. But you know, we try our best, as you say. We listen to suggestions, and I know when we developed the Mohawk Riverside Landing Park, we talked with the residents in that area, and you know, they were very much in favor of keeping it passive. And so we went in that direction, and we've got nothing but compliments on the area. And I think in that stretch of road there on River Road, possibly from Burmaster to the Niskayuna line, that's on the schedule for paving.
Yes.
So that will help in that area as well. So you get a lot of bikers and walkers.
Yeah. Well, what's good to see too is that overflow. There was no place for our residents in the town to connect to the bike path.
Right.
And everybody was going over to the Niskayuna bike path and parking there in their park. Now seeing cars there on a Sunday or a Saturday afternoon is very nice
Yes.
as well. And there's a couple of projects going on in that Troy-Schenectady Road area that we'll be collecting mitigation dollars for, hopefully to continue from the British American sidewalk bike path all the way down to River Road again too.
Yeah,
So we'll be looking to connect there.
That would be wonderful. Yes, and that is the key to this new park is we needed something in that stretch of the road where we had some place that we could accommodate people with,
Yes.
with the bathroom. So that's a real plus.
Absolutely.
And we have lots of new projects. We have redevelopment going on all over the past 4 or 5 years. Our focus first was on redesigning the planning process.
Correct.
To make it user-friendly, fair, structured, fair, so that the end result is everyone working together, you get a quality product
Absolutely.
in the end. And our focus has been on redevelopment because we do not want buildings that are falling apart or boarded up or just, looking like they've been sitting there dormant for a long time. It's not good for attracting new people and attracting people to the area. So we've had some amazing success with some wonderful
Absolutely.
developers, and between the developers and you and your staff and all of our people, we've got some really pretty neat projects out there.
We really do. We really do. I mean, there's a number on the Route 9 corridor that are happening, or actually completed now. There's a couple on Route 2 that are going on, and I think the developers were happy to hear through your guidance was to how do we accelerate the process on these smaller parcels that are abandoned, and that could be an infectious component too in certain areas. If you leave one abandoned, then it starts to be a
Yes.
trickle-down effect, and we really kind of nipped that in the bud very quickly by going through this redevelopment process, engaging developers. What do you need? And time was always the answer. They wanted to accelerate that time, and we've had a number of successes with the Saints Plaza, with Leah's Plaza there on Route 9, Saints on Route 9, and Lennon's Florist, or just to name a couple that are on their way.
Yes, Lennon's is on Route 2.
Correct.
That area there, and of course that stretch of Route 9, or the new Bellini's headquarters, that whole area there. We've got the sidewalks that are coming from Siena College all the way over to that area, which was, thankfully, we have to thank former Assemblyman Riley,
Yes.
Bob Riley, who secured that grant for Siena, and that just is working out very well. It fits right into that whole area, and the new Stewart's model across the street, all of those things coming into play. And I believe the plan was when that stretch was done, possibly over by the Bellini's area, there'll be a traffic signal
That's correct.
put in, which will help people getting in and out. It will just make that much safer.
Right, that traffic light was triggered with a certain amount of density as the housing started to come in on the village of New Loudon, which we're starting to see go up now.
Yes.
There's a couple of model homes going up now, but once that reaches a certain density, DOT, Department of Transportation, will be getting that light installed. But that's the other exciting thing too now with that sidewalk that's there. As I come over just about on a daily basis to Town Hall to have meetings with you and other developers, seeing people walk on that stretch is different. And it's a safe way to travel now.
Yes, it is. It is a lot different, and it's coming out beautifully. You couldn't ask for more. It's just unbelievable. But that whole area there looks great, and I noticed with some of the buildings on Route 9 in that whole stretch going down to where Fresh Market is, some of the little plazas on their own just upgraded their facades.
Yes.
So they blend in nicely, and that it's infectious. They start seeing the plantings, and they start seeing, the rail fence, and they start seeing the modern facades, and then everybody wants to join in.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, they want to be part of the plan.
Yeah, so it really is coming out very, very, very well. So, and as you said, we've got some new things on the other stretch, the more northern stretch of Route 9. Combination of redevelopment of some old businesses and buildings that were there. And as you go up towards Sparrowbush Road, the new maybe's there.
Correct.
Which will replace the old building there. And as you go towards the bridge, we actually have new housing developments.
Absolutely, yes, with Shelter Cove.
Yes, and the new Bout station is open, the Bout Fire Station.
Yeah. And
our EMS has moved into that building.
Right.
So lots of things going on that stretch. We talk about Route 2, which is a little quieter area.
Yes.
But as Route 9 gets redeveloped, and parts of Route 7 and the traffic circle itself is as a whole new look with everything repaired there and upgraded, that brings you right into Route 2 and starting to see people interested in that area now as well.
And we actually had a couple approvals in that area. We see Cumberland Farms
Yes.
has purchased and got approvals for the corner of Swatling and Route 2.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be putting in a station there. We have Salvation Army on the corner of Route 2
Mm-hmm.
and Seamon Avenue. They got their approvals there. Stewart's is working for another site on the corner of Delator and Route 2. So you're
Mm-hmm.
starting to see a lot of development even head down that way.
Yes.
Hudson Preserve is expanding, that housing component that we have right next to St. Patrick's Cemetery. They're expanding as well. The sisters are doing a wonderful job over on Shaker Point at Carondelet.
Yes.
Their apartment complexes come online now, and their recreational centers coming online. It's just absolutely gorgeous to see.
Yeah, and I like as you go over the area by Shaker Point. I think you did too. We had tours of the inside. Yes. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But on the outside, the walkway and then the little bridge. Yeah. Over there, it really looks nice. So that's coming along nicely.
Absolutely. It was wonderful to see the sisters really embrace the whole Shaker tradition.
Yes.
And build that type of product here in the town. Shakers have a long-standing history here in the town of Colonie, but that whole spirituality came together well with the sisters and the Shakers and how they built that, and it's just phenomenal.
And it's great to see Sister Lauren and Sister Kay. They just light up. They are so proud of what they
Yes.
they are the ones that kind of led the pack, and
Yes.
they're just beaming. I don't think they can believe that it all came through and came together. But that's a whole different area there. And the good part about that is that whole stretch between the new Shaker Point and then there is the Carondelet Apartments, Sheehy Manor Apartments. Those seniors can all interact.
Yes.
They can, walk back and forth, and so it's a good movement for socialization for the senior population, and Shaker Point offers a lot that everyone can take advantage. Every senior that wants to can take advantage of. So it's kind of like its own little village there, where they've got lots of space and good population of seniors for interaction and socialization. So it really was a nice plan.
Absolutely.
Nice plan. And that is something that the comprehensive plan called for, and that is to meet the needs of the aging population. Yes. We have the largest senior population in the region, and always affordable housing is always an issue. Downsizing and having options to move into, that's always an issue.
Right.
So these are things that we work with the developers when they look around the town of Colonie. What are some of the needs? People like to have lots of options. They like to have restaurants and shopping and the amenities around, but there's also the need for different types of housing. And we're seeing that.
Yeah.
There are lots of good projects around for growing families, and we're working hard to provide housing accommodations for the senior population,
Right.
and for people of all incomes, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's the warming thing with me when you start to see developers come in, knowing if they can't find, or a senior can't age in their home, provide them an opportunity to age in the community to where they provided so many years. They raised their children here and were part of the community for years, and to provide them an opportunity to stay in the town they grew up in or worked in or lived in. It's just nice to see that developers really want to bring, whether it be a different product line on, to give the various income levels as well. So you're starting to see developers really work with the community as well, which is very nice.
Yeah, I think I think it was a long time coming to try to meet that need in the comprehensive plan, but I think with everything all together and the aging population, developers are looking more at the needs. They're more aware of what we need in town, and including the Colonie Senior Service Centers, Inc., that corporation is looking to build some additional housing as well. They own the Beltrone Living Center. And there's a tremendous need. If people can't move out of their homes and stay in the community, they have to look elsewhere. And their first desire is they've lived in the town almost their whole lives, and they want to be here.
Right.
They really want to be here. So we're trying hard to accommodate all of those needs.
And, we have so many things going on in the town, now with Whole Foods and Trader
Yes.
Joe's, and those are the things that are keeping people wanting to stay here in the community.
Yes.
We're starting to see a lot of first-time retailers come to our area. All things are different now. They're changing, and people want to stay. People want to be here, be a part of it.
And we got a lot of the requests and the ideas from the people.
Yes.
They talk about when they visit other areas, they see this or they see that, and I think that we've all done a good job of attracting people to the town. So we've got to keep moving in the right direction, and because the properties that are abandoned or vacant and just sitting there for years, there's no purpose. They serve no purpose in the town, and it's valuable land that's already used up.
Right.
And that's important to try to reuse rather than take all the new land that's left. And with that goes infrastructure improvements. And right now, our focus is on infrastructure. Majority of our tax dollars are going to our roads, our water line improvements, water district improvements, and sewer improvements. Some really major projects going on. We're in the 5th year of our paving plan.
Yes.
And my goal is to try to get that extended for another 5 years, because we just have so many roads that need to be done. So, that's really where our focus is, and with all the new development that's come in and taken over these old areas, and now it's our job to make sure we can provide the systems that our residents need and our businesses need. And infrastructure is an issue that is it's common in just about every municipality. It has to do with really old infrastructure that it has lived out its life. We pretty much have a handle on how much of a lifespan we have with ours. We know our roads, certainly need a lot of work, but our director of superintendent of water and our engineer, our director for Pure Waters, which is our sewer system, they've been doing a lot of work to give a long-range plan so that each year we can devote a certain amount of our budget to projects, so that 4 or 5 years from now, everything doesn't break down at once.
Right.
And then you're in a situation where it's so costly. How do you address it? And so that's where the majority of our money is going. Our taxpayer money is going to infrastructure.
And it's a little bit more complex, I think, in the town because we also share the roads with Albany County and the state of New York. I mean, we have Watervliet Shaker Road, Wolf Road, Route 7, Route 9, all controlled by other entities, whether that be Albany County or Department of State. So it's hard to get on their program and have that mirror what we're trying to do. And that's why I tip my hat to the developers because they know in order to make a project work, there's a level of infrastructure that they need to install on a project, which puts their costs a little bit higher. But I think wanting to be in the town is important to them too. So that's where they're the partnerships that we've designed and built working out well.
And those partnerships are critical. And also we've been working hard to work with the state and the county and the adjacent municipalities on looking at ways to share services, to be able to do projects that are more cost effective, and a lot of other areas they look at their needs and their infrastructure, and some cases you have to be able to work with your partners because it's just such an enormous job or such an enormous project to take on. You really have to look far ahead. We just put in our support for a grant that Albany City is looking at. It has to do with an interconnection for water. We're right next to Albany with the reservoir, and when you have backup systems, our backup system, one of the main ones is in Clifton Park, the Stony Creek Reservoir. And it's an older setup, and this grant that the city is looking at is basically it would provide us with the opportunity if we needed assistance. It's just a matter of turning a valve, and the same thing for them if they needed assistance turning a valve to assist with secondary source of water. So there's lots of things that are going on at that level that we're all trying to work together and take a more of a global look as to what are the needs. And I'm thankful we have a fantastic staff in the town of Colonie that really has been progressive and looking at, okay, we're going to get to this point, even though it's difficult for people to see their dollars when they're buried in the water lines or the sewer lines or whatever, or the foundations for our roads and things like that. It's very noticeable when things don't work.
Right.
When the water, you turn it on and it doesn't work, or it has to be safe, it has to be good quality, and you definitely need to have our sewer systems working. All of these things you just don't think about because they're not, they're a given. They have to work and we need them. But infrastructure is a major focus right now. And our developers play a big part in that, as well as our residents, and because they provide the tax dollars to make that happen. So it's a huge partnership.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing too, is when you get a phone call, a level of concern. When they talk about dollar spending, it's so topical. They see everything above the ground, and they can touch it there, but once it's underneath the ground, they can't see it. And when you start to explain the process and everything that's going on, and infrastructure improvements were so territorial between municipalities, and with every municipality now doing more with less, it's great to see now everybody's coming to the table and figuring out what will happen if, and how can we partner here, really doing more with less.
Yes.
Because we're all doing it now.
Yes.
Every municipality is.
Yeah, and we've even made great gains with really looking at our DPW along with our planning as a whole unit, not as several different little departments. And there's a huge project going on now in West Albany, the Sand Creek Road project, and that is a perfect example of all of the departments working together.
Right.
Very costly project, but one that is very much needed. And the whole planning for that was done with all of the departments and the outside engineers working together. To make sure that you're doing it the most efficient way and that it's going to be done right. So it's hard for people to understand when something happens, like you get a water break. That affects you if you're in that area, and if that doesn't get fixed, and it doesn't matter if it's 10 below out, our guys have to come in and jump in that hole and try to get this fixed so that when you wake up in the morning, you can take your shower and do what you need to do to get on your way.
Oh, absolutely. And even within our building department, I mean, the changes that have come there over the past couple of years, Paul Shepard and the crew over there, I mean, it's just doing an amazing job because, every developer calls me up and says, gee, boy, I got my approvals, but I can't get my building permit. And to see the changes that are coming out of there as well, now the two are working together and the synergies that's provided. So now okay, we got you past my hurdle, now we got to turn you over to the building department, and it's working well.
And, it doesn't matter which department, you call them and ask them about certain things, and it's a matter of volume. I mean, it's not that no one wants to address anything. It's just so busy, and it's good. It's good for our town. We're moving forward, but it's a lot of work. Everyone's working very, very hard. But it all comes down when you look at the infrastructure projects, and you look at the building department, and you look at the developers, and you look at the ideas for the town. It all starts in planning.
Yes.
And so you've got a very exciting job. You get to see everything firsthand.
It really is.
And it's very rewarding to see the finished products.
Yeah, we have several hotels coming up now. They're going to be coming online before the end of the year or early next year. We have a transformational project on Aviation Road with the the new addition of Capcom and doing that cul-de-sac or roundabout, and hopefully the extension over to Maxwell. That's going to change the volume of traffic on Wolf Road. I call it Bill Neely Way, but I know it's Maxwell Road in extension because Bill didn't think he'd ever see it before he retired. Again, all the people at the town working with the town designated engineers, working with the property owners, we're going to realize another road system in the town shortly.
Yes, and that's going to be a big benefit in that area. And of course, DOT has their plans for the Exit 4 area. It's the bridge there and the roadway, but it's going to be a while. I think maybe they'll be starting maybe sometime in 15, and it'll go on. Hopefully the state will be able to continue that project all the way through. So lots of things going on all over. We're a very large town, and we've got lots of things going on in planning, but the pieces all have to fit together. That's the key. And that goes along with the proper planning, and we're following the comprehensive plan and land use laws. They were adjusted, I think, just before we came on board in 2007, and working with those laws, and sometimes we run into situations where they need to be amended so that they are workable. So we try to do that and get those on track. And
there's an engaged committee that we've put together there too, the Land Use Law Committee.
Yes.
When they realize something's not working, we start to talk to other municipalities. What are you doing? What are you not doing? How are you doing it? And we're starting to see a lot of changes, and it's helping development move forward too.
Yes, yes. And anytime you develop a new plan with all types of regulations and trying to hit every point, something that may seem appropriate at the time, then when you go to apply it, it doesn't work.
Right.
So you've got a little tweaking to do, and that happens all the time. But you just have to, you've got to work it through until you can see what's really a fair law, a fair regulation for everybody involved. And so we try to do that as well. But I think all of the major changes that we've worked on with our department heads to streamline the process really opened up communication with the developers that are interested in the town, and engaging our residents and getting their ideas, and then your department working with all the other departments. I'm really proud of what we've all accomplished, because it's really great to see, and lots and lots of compliments from people. And you can never do everything that everybody wants you to do, and sometimes there are parts of the whole process that people don't understand. but the majority of people really appreciate the hard work. So
They do.
I thank you and your staff, along with everyone else that's worked so hard to really bring all of these new projects to fruition, as well as addressing the other issues that go along with it. And it can't be done without everybody working together, so it's a great partnership.
That's a
And
great team, yes.
I appreciate all your efforts.
Oh, thank you.
I think we're just out of time. So again, I thank you for being here, and I know we've got a lot more to do. So
We'll look forward to the next
We're going to have to
time.
bring you back, and we're going to have to talk about new things in the future. So
Absolutely.
so thank you, and thank you for tuning in to Colonie Connect.